When people think of the 135 millimeter lens, they usually think of two things: compression and a ridiculous background blur. This focal length just has just a different look that just hits differently than other lenses that I've used. The faces look more flattering, the backgrounds just melt away, and everything just feels more cinematic. The problem is most 135 millimeter lenses are either very expensive or they were built like plasticky toys. Enter the 7artisans 135 millimeter F1.8, everybody. Now this is an exciting lens. Look at that. Look at that. Such a beautiful, beautiful glass. This is the first flagship lens in their Max series, and it looks like on paper they're trying to punch way above their weight. So in this video, I just want to share over you guys some of the things that I found out while shooting with this lens over the past few weeks. Let's go. The first thing you notice is that this lens feels really, really serious than all the other 7artisans lens before. This lens is all metal, dense, it's solid. It has that premium feel that makes you want to pick it up and start shooting with it immediately. Some third-party lenses performs well, but they still feel a bit cheap. This doesn't feel cheap at all. This feels actually so good in my hands. This feels like a proper flagship lens. It's visually very clean. It has a clean look to it. It just looks right at home with the other modern full frame lenses out there. 7artisans also added a dedicated aperture control rings. On the Sony E mounts, the ring is clicked, and on the Nikon Z mount, which I have, is declicked. So this is for smooth and silent video adjustments. We also got an AM/MF toggle switch and two customizable FM buttons. And at the back of the lens, you have the USB-C port for firmware updates as well. And you do also have the rubber gasket seal at the back here, making this moisture and dust resistant. And the filter thread size on the 7artisans 135 millimeter f1.8 is 82 millimeters. So it is a big lens right here. So why is 135 millimeter so special? 135 lens gives you that look that it's hard to replicate. The compression makes the backgrounds feel so much closer, and the subject just pops right off of the frame. And the portraits taken on this lens just feels a bit more, cinematic. I hate to use that word because I don't know how else to describe it, but like whenever you watch a movie, you always see like a close up of, people having dialogue, and then you see that they take up the entire frame. This is what it does. It just makes everything just pop out of the frame. And this is one of the reasons why I really like this focal length. At f1.8, the depth of field is extremely shallow. You can isolate your subject in a way that, makes even messy backgrounds look clean. And that was just one of those lens that can actually make average locations look better than they really are. When I shot with this in the crowded streets in Ho Chi Minh City, it was very useful because shooting this at f1.8, I can actually isolate my subject in a city where everything is always busy, it's always hustling and bustling. So this lens was just great to have in that instance. I've also used this to photograph some pets here as well, and I was just blown away by the results that I got with this. Because of its close focusing distance, I actually can get close, and I've gotten some close shots with dog, and I was just like just blown away by the results that I got. Like I said, one of the standout feature is the close focusing distance. It is at 68 centimeters minimum focusing distance. That might not sound exciting, but for a 135 millimeter lens, it's pretty good. Most lenses in this category focus further away. You have to like be really, really far. So that means you can't get as close to details like eyes, jewelries, hands, or like, the nose of a dog. So you get all of that with this lens, which is pretty good. Because because you still get that 135 millimeter compression, the results look very, very dramatic. Makes this lens useful for portrait, but also like product work, product photography, detail shots for like weddings or something like that, or like even still life photography, just to name a few. Now, when it comes to autofocusing, what I found was the lens uses an STM motor inside, and when I was using it to like, track people on scooters here in Ho Chi Minh, I thought it did a really good job at tracking it once I got the subject locked into the box. It did a really good job at nailing focus. I was shooting everything around 5 frames per second, and every time I latched onto a subject, I got them immediately. So I thought, combined with my Nikon Z6III, I thought it did a great job in tracking the subject. I also thought it did a great job at tracking a dog, like a small Pomeranian. We let the dog off leash so that it can make its own decisions when it was walking. And I had zero issues tracking him when there's ample amount of light. So what do you get inside the lens? Okay, so here are the optical performance that I gotta run over with you guys. You got 16 elements in 13 groups, 6 ED elements, 5 high refractive index elements. So in plain English, that means that this lens is designed to reduce chromatic aberrations, keep images sharp and high in contrast. Translation is your images is going to look clean, details are crisp, edges are well controlled, and colors remain well defined. And at 135mm f1.8, that's exactly what you want. So I haven't found any chromatic aberrations with this lens, which is really, really good. Again, 7artisans just knocked it out of the park with this one. The only thing that I found was that at f1.8, it does have a little bit, it is sharp. Don't get me wrong, it is sharp, but it's not contrasty. There's not, so you're gonna have to actually stop it down to like f2.8 and higher to actually get that contrast that you want. But at f1.8, shooting it is sharp. And we gotta talk about the bokeh. So if you're buying the 135mm f1.8 lens, you're here for the bokeh, and this lens, delivers in that. The bokeh just dissolves into like a soft, creamy blur. The separation is dramatic. I shot everything on f1.8, capture people with their scooters at f1.8, which is pretty fun and hard at the same time. When you do that, the subject does stand out. It just pops out of the frame, which I really, really enjoy. So where can I see this lens being useful? Okay, so I see it being useful in portrait photography. Obviously, I can't wait to shoot more portraits with it. Fashion photography, wedding details, pet photography, stage performances when you need to be away from further from the stage, sports product photography, urban shots. Basically, if you want a strong subject separation and a cinematic look, this lens is it. This lens feels like a proper tool. So it's for photographers and filmmakers who want strong compression, dreamy bokeh, premium build quality, close focusing capability, silent autofocusing. It's truly one of the better lenses that I've tried from 7artisans in a long, long while. Like, I knew that 7artisans has been killing it, but I didn't think they had this in the horizon. This threw me off guard because 135 is one of my favorite focal lengths to shoot portraits with because of everything that I just listed here. So I'm glad that 7artisans made this lens because, the more that we have of this in the lens, it's like the better it is. Because honestly, I don't want to pay for a Plena. A Plena, like what, Nikon 135 f1.8 Plena? I was like fucking 2.5 grand, 3 grand. When you can get this for like, was it like $700? Is that 695 US? So this is like a fraction of the cost, man. So this is so much better to get than a Plenia. Like, this lens is amazing, and I can't wait to shoot more portrait photography with it. This lens is ambitious lens by 7artisans. 7artisans is clearly trying to move beyond, you know, just like a third-party brand from China. They're trying to build something that can compete with the established brands, and I'm here for it. Based on the specification and the design, this lens looks like a strong entry into, you know, into that category. I've been enjoying this lens, and I'm glad that 7artisans is taking a leap of faith in providing us with some pro glass at an affordable rate. Now, if you are interested in this lens, I'll leave the links down in the description below. And do me a favor, and if you like what I do on this YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe to my channel. It's because of your support that I continue to make these videos. And that is it for me, guys. Thanks so much.